Hello everyone, this is Tanmay sir and a grand welcome in my class and in your today's English core syllabus. I'm again back with poetry. Poetry, the spontaneous overflow of powerful emotions or emotions recollected in tranquility by Wordsworth. Sometimes it is willing suspension of disbelief by Coleridge. Sometimes it's as many poets, as many definitions of poetry or poem. So far as literature is concerned, first it's the birth of a poem. Poetry came first. Then we started expressing ourselves, communicating with others by means of prose pieces. Okay, so today in your syllabus, another poem we are going to begin with. The poet and this poem, I'm sure, are very much new for you, and the themes to be discussed that are already discussed in this text are a bit understandable for you, but you have to just little bit of attention you have to put. It's very simple, but you know one thing, things are very simple, but it's difficult to express them as simple things. That's why simple things are not easy. Anyway, let's not move into a deeper philosophy of poetry and all. Let me present before you our today's concern, and here I begin. I said we will begin with poetry, a poem rather. But what is this? No name of the poem, rather a quote. Visits always give pleasure, if not the arrival, the departure. Yes, my dear friends, this word arrival and this word departure create hullabaloo with us, create confusion with us, and in our deeper understanding, actually the thing is something else, but it appears to be something else before us. Some departures bring more light to your life. A bit of oxymoron, right? One literary device I introduced in my last poem, a photograph. Why oxymoron? No, sir, departures are not good. Then why I'm saying departures bring more light to your life? I don't think so. I only believe so, being a student of literature. It's said by great people. There is a time for departure even when there is no certain place to go. I don't know where to go, but I'm sure that I will depart. I will depart means leaving some place. People feel that now it's high time I should leave this place. But why this question of departure, and why I am putting so much emphasis on this very word departure? Why? Let's try to go look into it. The poem Appearance versus Reality. Which poem? We don't even know. But before we go learn about the poem, the name of the poem, the poet, the psyche of the poet's philosophy, the poet's poetics, and everything, we need to know a little bit of truthful learning. What is the truth behind? See, it appears to be always that arrival means happiness and joy, and departure means sadness and melancholia. Melancholia is a feeling of loneliness, sadness, mourning, all put together. But really, the thing is, arrival is the cause of departure. If you are arriving, you have arrived, it means you will depart. That's true. If people have taken born, people are born, then they will die. But departure chances upon next arrival. But when people die, there is a next opportunity that there is another birth. After this Durga Puja festival, or it can be after this Idul Fitr or Idul Juha, or after its Borodin, Christmas. So the feeling is ashbe ashbe, the thing is gonna come, the dates are nearing, this much is good. But once it comes, oh my god, now we are going to leave it. This happens. So arrival is the cause of departure. So no actual happiness is there. But departure actually chances upon next arrival. বাংলায় বলে আহ, কেউ জিজ্ঞেস করে যাওয়ার সময় ফিরে যাচ্ছ কেন? Why are you leaving? The answer, but the very simple answer is I'm leaving so as to come back soon. যেতে হয় ফিরে আসার জন্য, তাড়াতাড়ি ফিরে আসার জন্য, right? This is the deeper philosophy. This is the poem, The Laburnum Top by Ted Hughes. You get to know from your textbook, Hornbill. Dear students, today we will not discuss anything about. Today we will not discuss anything about the Laburnum Top's textual discussion. Textual discussion. But yes, we will learn that what the poem deals with, what the poem is all about. The Laburnum Top. Have you ever heard the word laburnum? A bird. Here I can see bird, here I can see tree. So that much for sure. One laburnum is either the name of a bird or the name of a tree. That's for sure. Let's see. This is the much talked about poetic persona, Ted Hughes. Don't you pronounce as Ted Hughes? It's Ted Hughes. Who is he? I know he's a poet. You have also come to know he's a poet. But what are the hallmarks of his poetry? Why is he famous for? Dear students, try to know your poet here. The full name is Edward James Ted Hughes. Hmm? Is an incredibly prolific poet, translator, editor, and children's book author of the 20th century. He was appointed Poet Laureate in 1984 and held his office until his death. Among his many awards, he was appointed to the Order of Merit, one of Britain's highest honors. This is this is just a bucket from a sea about the poet. People say little is known about Shakespeare and his personal life. It's not only true about Shakespeare, rather, all the poets or literary persona who wrote for us. Hughes, poetry, and nature. Slowly, we are peeping inside the poem and the poet. Okay? Ted Hughes and his poetry, and why nature is mentioned here. Dear students, on a slightly different note, let me tell you that this is the website's URL where from you can know the poet better out of your own interest and enthusiasm, if any. Now, a few facts which I feel you need to know, you should know about Ted Hughes, I have just tried to jot down here. To read Hughes' poetry is to enter a world dominated by nature, especially by animals. This holds true for nearly all of his collected poems. Animals appear frequently throughout his work as deity, means as the appearance of God, worship, metaphor, persona, and icon. Sometimes it is symbol, sometimes it is people, sometimes it is something said in bracket, or sometimes it is an object of worship. We know nature is also an object of worship, a concept of to be worshipped, and there are people, there are poets. For example, William Wordsworth. We call him uh, priest of nature, nature priest, প্রকৃতির পুরোহিত. People actually, because he worships nature, and this and he believes in nature and the gods residing in this nature, and this theory is called pantheism, and we are not going deep inside. Okay, this is a little bit of. Now, The Hawk in the Rain is a collection of poems that secured Hughes' reputation as a poet of international stature. People started knowing him after this publication. Now, how do you differentiate and how do you recognize that this is Hughes' poetry, this is Philip Larkin's poetry, this is William Wordsworth's poetry, this is Tennyson's poetry, this is Browning's poetry, this is Frost's poetry, this is Tagore's poetry. How will you define? Every poet has their own idealism, has their own idolatry, has their own poetics. Hmm? The principles and ideals of writing a poem, thinking about a poem, composing a poem, delineating a poem is all about poetics. Now, the poet and his poetics. So, here, Ted Hughes is a gifted poet who has rich imagination, immortality, and attachment with nature and animals. We will, we will be born, we will die, but nature will remain so. His poetry is not the expression of casual fancies, like, I wish I could be a bird. So there is a little bit of contrast. But Ted Hughes doesn't write about nature in a very naturalist point of view, just like nature poet's point of view. It could be Keats, it could be Wordsworth, who is writing about the fountain, who is writing about rivers, stream, brook, who's writing about leaves falling from the trees and all. No, his dealing with the nature is a bit different. Not about a casual fancies, but an emphatic expression. Means a strong, robust expression of his experiences and of thought based on observation. And his works help modern man recognize their own identity as both human and animals. Yes, we are the rational being. We are the mortal creature, the best creature created by God, and also animals. What kind of animals? Not wild animals, not domesticated animals, rather social animals. And our relationship with nature through his poetry we get to know about. Now, in this poem, the Laburnum Top, what are the themes and symbols that we come across? The theme of the poem is the mutual relationship between the laburnum tree. Yeah, I now disclose. The tree, the yellow tree, is actually laburnum tree. The laburnum tree and the goldfinch bird. This, you saw the bird, that bird is goldfinch. Wait, the pictures are coming for you. The laburnum tree and the goldfinch bird. The large and beautiful tree is quiet and lonely till the arrival of the goldfinch. On the other hand, the goldfinch, though amusing, is without a shelter till it finds the laburnum top. You can have it, you can read it on your own. I'm not reading for you. You people can better read out than I can. The simple theme or the simple idea of the poem is there is a tree, a Lebanon tree, and where on top of the tree, who comes? On top of the tree, uh, a bird named goldfinch. A goldfinch bird arrives, and when a bird comes and sits on a branch of a tree, it's called parchment. It's called parching on a branch or parching in a tree, not sitting in a tree rather. Ah, so, and the tree was all still. As soon as the bird arrives and perches on the branch, the entire tree gets a kind of a dwindling effect, gets a kind of a trembling effect, as if the tree is a living organism, but it was not being considered as so, because still things are being considered with death and decay. So Goldfinch came, and the tree got its own life. And Goldfinch came for what? To take care of his baby birds in the nest, which is carefully built inside the tree. So the bird came, took care of the babies, and again left. When the bird came, the tree got its life back. But when the bird left, deserted, and when the bird came from the nest, the little birds, the baby birds, started chirruping their sound. Birds cry, or the birds shout, we call it chirruping. CHIRRUP, chirrup. So they started chirruping, and this word you got, if you remember, in your portrait of the lady also. The portrait of the lady, when the sparrows they are chirruping, when the grandmother was throwing the breadcrumbs for them. So this chirruping started, and as if the engine came and the vehicle started. The bird goldfinch is just like an engine. It starts, and the other noises that is associated with the vehicle that starts, and the tree itself is feeling uh, a liveliness, a rejuvenation, a reincarnation. Tree feels. But as soon as the bird leaves, the bird departs from the tree, the tree loses its life, loses its vivacity, loses its vitality. The bird came and made the tree revitalized. And when the bird left, it made the tree devitalized. Hmm? This is the goldfinch bird, to be precise. And it's on a branch is actually the arrival come parchment. And it's when the bird is stationed on, station means still, is keeping still for a while. It's when the bird is stationed on the branch of a laburnum tree. And in the poem, when we discuss, you will get that the little bird, to describe the little bird has a smooth and shiny body as that of a lizard. So there is a comparison, there is a simile. Figures of speech, hope you remember in a photograph we discussed. So the lizard skin and the goldfinch skin is compared as smooth and shiny. And she, the bird, is extremely watchful and swiftly coming, perching on the branch, then again leaving, and very watchful about about her nest, about her babies. Okay, now the final time, the departure. The bird, when the bird leaves, and it's when the bird departs and deserts. It not only departs the tree, it not only departs the branch, rather it deserts the laburnum tree. Desert means to abandon, to leave away someplace, not intentionally, but by the law of nature, by the rule of nature. And the laburnum tree, for a long time I'm shouting, so this is the laburnum tree. Scientifically speaking, or botanically speaking, a genus of two species of poisonous trees and shrubs belonging to the subfamily, so Fabaceae of the pea family, that is Fabaceae. Fabaceae, the wood of Scotch or Alpine laburnum, that the full name is Laburnum alpinum, has a striking greenish brown or reddish brown hue, human's color, and takes a good polish, means a good texture of the leaves and the entire tree, the leaves and the flowers. It is ideal for cabinet making and inlay, and was at one time the most prized timber in Scotland. And only this is a hint that it is very much available in internet, so you can access even more information about the laburnum tree. And here, what is the laburnum tree? There is nothing to learn something. It's all about a fact to remember, data to remember. Okay, just to know about this uh, botanical existence. And then the nest I was talking about, this nest is built securely. Here, the nest is built securely. And these are the babies who are longing for the mother goldfinch bird to come in. And when the goldfinch bird comes, and a kind of a fond handling of the babies, so they start chirping, and the movement of the lip, if you notice carefully, the movement of the lip shows it very well that uh, they are exalted, they are eagerly looking for, and they are chirping on the top of their voice. Now, again, the poem with its brief overview. The poem The Laburnum Top is a beautiful poem in which the poet has used the laburnum tree and goldfinch as a symbol of life and its fluctuations. The laburnum tree symbolizes the pattern of our life in general, which is usually dull and inanimate, just like the tree when it's still. The goldfinch breaks the usual pattern and makes it lively. For example, the surface of a the surface of any water body, when it's still, and you just throw a stone on it, and there is a waves created. Similarly, there is acute silence. It's winter, and there is acute silence, the dead silence. And suddenly you start the music system, and there is a Yahoo, this kind of noise. So that breaks the monotony, that breaks the silence, and creates something new. So that kind of relevance is being established. So the goldfinch breaks the usual pattern and makes it lively. Without the goldfinch, the laburnum tree is just like another tree. Only it's the goldfinch that makes it a laburnum tree. In other words, it is the attitude of a person towards life that makes life meaningful and worth living. So the departure, if I talk about there is a if I talk about the first quote, that departure. So visits always give pleasure, if not the arrival, the departure. Visit is important. You are coming, you are paying a visit, so you will take my leave. You will take your exit. But taking the exit is required just to ensure your another coming in. That's why visits are always important. The goldfinch bird made a visit. Sometimes we are very sad at some people leaving in from our life, or some incidents, some memories that are very sweet. And when you think that gone are those days, old is gold, huh? And we feel bad. Why those moments are not coming back, and why those people are not coming back. So it's a very dramatic arrival and very dramatic departure. And these things are non governable. You cannot govern it. It's a law of nature. You have to accept it. It's the power of acceptance. With this power of acceptance only, you can achieve it. With more elaboration and with more exploration, I am coming tomorrow with a new video where the textual reading and analysis will take place along with the difficult words meaning and the most important poetic devices discussion. I hope you understood this poem, and till tomorrow, stay happy, stay blessed, wait for next Tanmay Sir's class. Thank you everyone for your support, patience and cooperation.